What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we've got a good video for you. Today we're going to go over the 15 best compact carry guns, and in order to be in this list, you have to be durable, reliable, time-tested, a good track record. It has to be fast, accurate, relatively affordable, although we will have a ton of different price tiers, anywhere from pretty expensive to actually pretty cheap, so we have something for everybody. We're also going to have a number of different actions, so we're going to have some double action, some striker fired, and some single action guns as well. That way we get at least one entry on there from everybody. These are going to be evaluated based on my reviews, my first shots, my 1,000 round reviews, my testing, but also other people's testing. We're going to take in consideration the track record of the gun, its military and law enforcement service, and how it's done with civilians, as far as not only just how many have been sold, but how happy those people are overall. So if you're looking for a carry gun, this is a really good place to start. Now, before we get into the list, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. You guys are the biggest supporter of the channel. We try to be the most honest gun content on the internet, and because of that, companies don't always love us, so it's nice that you guys are here for us because we're here for you. If you want to support the channel, just go to the link in the description and hit that Patreon link. It's the best way to do it. Also in that description, a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down to that link and donate to those kids. All right, let's get right into it at number 15 with the HK Too big?
Too big.
Too big. So we'll go with something smaller. Let's start with number 15, the Springfield Hellcat Pro. Now, the Springfield Hellcat Pro is a relatively new gun, but it's so awesome I had to put it on the list. It just couldn't make it up higher than a lot of guns that have higher track records and stuff like that, but it might be there someday. What I would consider probably the best carry option from Springfield at the moment, the Hellcat Pro blends a lot of cool stuff together that I think makes a really unique and carryable package. It is a very small gun with only 1 inch in overall width, which is very important. It's going to be a lot thinner than a lot of the guns on the list. It has a 21 ounce overall weight, and it is a polymer frame striker fired pistol, so the trigger pull is going to be the same poundage every time, which is great for new shooters. It also comes in with a lot of cool features and a price point that makes it pretty attractive at between $500 and $600 with a 15 round magazine capacity. One of the smallest guns that you can get in this class. Not only is it thin, but it's very light as well, but it still shoots okay. Now, physics being what they are, it's not going to shoot as good as some of the guns later on this list that might be a little bit beefier and heavier, but it is going to be much easier to carry all day, and you still get that 15 rounds of 9mm capacity to make you feel good. The Hellcat Pro was very accurate, although the trigger is not as good as some other guns on this list, and it was very reliable as well. Feel free to check out our 1,000 round review if you're interested. In at number 14, the Beretta PX4 Storm. A very unique offering from Beretta. It has a rotating barrel design that makes it very, very soft shooting. It's very accurate, very reliable, and pretty unheard of, so you can often find them for prices that you would be surprised. The MSRP is between $650 and $700, but I've seen these guns for around $500, and you can even get them done by Langdon Tactical, like I had mine done, and they shoot extremely well. It's going to be a little more expensive, but they're awesome. And remember, very, very light recoil, 15 round magazine capacity, and a 27 ounce overall weight makes it a very carryable package still with a 4-inch barrel. It's going to be a double action, single action pistol, so you're going to have that long double action first shot, and then you're going to have a very crisp and light single action trigger pull. In my opinion, the double action is safer for carry, especially in appendix, because it's kind of a safety in and of itself having that longer trigger pull, and you do definitely get used to it over time. I shoot a CZ Shadow 2 in competition, and I barely notice it now. So if you're looking for something unique and light recoiling, and maybe something not everybody has, check out the Beretta PX4 Storm. The only downside of the gun, and the reason why it's not higher on the list, is because it's relatively unknown. You can't really find it a lot of places. You can't find holsters and parts and magazines in a lot of places, so it sits at number 14. Doesn't make it a bad gun though. In at number 13, we have maybe my favorite 1911 on the list, at least on the list, because it's my favorite commander size 1911, the Dan Wesson Guardian. Now, the Guardian has a special place in my heart because not only is it a 1911, but I also carried the Guardian for a number of years. I trusted my life to it, and of all the guns I've shot, that does give it a pretty high recommendation. Now, the Dan Wesson Guardian is expensive at about $1,700, but hey, it's a semi-custom 1911, so you're gonna get what you pay for. It's got a very smooth trigger pull, somewhere between 3 and 4 pounds. It's a single action only guns, you are going to have to carry it cocked and locked like your grandpa did, but your grandpa was probably a badass. They come in 45 or 9mm. Mine was a 9mm, so I had a 9-round capacity. I personally like that. A 1911 and 9mm is an absolute dream to shoot. It does have an aluminum frame, so it is relatively light at 28 ounces. You're going to have a limited capacity with it, but you make up for it with one of the best triggers on planet Earth and one of the most accurate barrels that you'll find. The Wesson Guardian shoots 3 to 4 inches at 50 to 100 yards. It's more accurate than you'll ever be, and if you want to look good on the range and carry a gun and feel comfortable and still have a good enough gun to go to the barbecue and defend yourself, the Wesson Guardian is a pretty good way to go. Now, hey, if you can't afford a Wesson Guardian, don't worry about it. There's a lot of cheap guns on the list too. And at number 12, we're going to be talking about the Taurus G3. Now, the Taurus G3 is the cheapest gun on the list and what I would consider probably the cheapest gun you can get that's still good to go for carry. This is actually one of the new ones here, but we do have a 1,000-round review of the Taurus G3 if you're interested. The Taurus is a double-action polymer frame pistol with a 4-inch barrel that comes with a lot of great features, but a very low price tag. It has a 15-round or 17-round capacity. It is in 9mm, and some of them have A&B controls and even are optics ready. However, the base model does not, but it does come in between $200 and $300, making it affordable for pretty much everybody looking for self-defense. Now, I know a lot of people will sneer at this, but no matter what your income level, I think you should still be able to afford to defend yourself. And if you need to get into a $200 gun, I would recommend the Taurus G3. Through our testing, it was very reliable. I think we had maybe 3 failures out of 1,000 rounds, but the trigger's great, the recoil and pulse is great, the texture is good, and the slide is easy to maintain and easy to handle, even for people with arthritic hands. So I feel pretty good about putting the gun on the list. I would consider it maybe the cheapest gun that I would carry if I had to, although if you want to bump it up a little bit, there is some better options. Like number 11, the Beretta APX Centurion, coming at about $100 more than that at about the $400 price point. I think the Beretta APX Centurion is one of the best guns on the market. You can get a polymer frame striker fired pistol with a fire control module that you can change grips with a 3.7-inch barrel, 28-ounce overall weight, and a capacity of about 13 to 15 rounds, all for $400, coming from the oldest firearms company in the world and having a warranty and a track record that'll make you feel a lot more comfortable than maybe the Taurus. We did a 1,000-round review of the APX Centurion, and we actually have the version 2 in testing right now, and I gotta say, I definitely recommend them. In at number 10, we're going to start getting into some of the big boys. I want to talk about the CZ P01. Now, the CZ P01 is one of my favorite guns on the planet. As you guys know, the P01 in its stock configuration is somewhere between $500 and $600. It has a 4-inch barrel, a 28-ounce overall weight, just like a lot of the other guns, but this one is going to be an aluminum frame double action. You can get it with a decocker or a safety, and it has a great trigger out of the box, and it's safe to carry appendix, which I like a lot. Based on the CZ75 design, it is one of the most reliable guns on the planet. It does great in adverse conditions. It does great in cold, hot, mud, sand. Whatever you can throw at the gun, it'll run. It runs most cheap ammunition as well, including Wolf and remanufactured ammo. I've had no problems with mine. And on top of that, you do get that double strike capability. Now, I think where the P01 really shines is when you get them customized, because you can get them slicked up to compete with like a 2011, which is really impressive. But you can certainly take the base gun and be extremely happy. In at number 9, we have the Canik TP9 Elite. I really like this gun because it's another gun that gives you a ton of gun for the money. With a 4-inch barrel and a 28-ounce weight, we have lots of features for the money as well. Front slide serrations, A&B controls, a textured mag release, and you have a pre-cocked striker trigger. That's one of the better guns in the industry. A lot of these come with optics mounts, and you get fiber optic with a blacked out rear, and you get a 15-round magazine capacity, all for about the $400 price point, which is absolutely insane. In at number 8, we have the CZ P10C. Now, the CZ P10C is a great gun, and it's an absolute classic these days. Came out about 5 years ago, and I've been shooting them ever since, and I freaking love them. One of my favorite companies, CZ. Not only do they put out great guns, but they put them out ready to work. They're all worked from the factory and ready to go, so you have no break-in period. This one has a very low slide mass with front serrations, Picatinny rail for lights and lasers, a phenomenal trigger and undercut, serrated magazine release with ambi controls, and a great grip that you can get really high on. It's a polymer frame striker fired pistol with extreme reliability, extreme accuracy, but where it really shines is its recoil control. You can shoot out as many shots as you need to get the job done on this guy without losing control of the pistol, and that's why I love it. Close, fast, and dirty, exactly what a carry gun needs to be, and the P10C really delivers. In at number 7, we're gonna have a pretty controversial gun, and I'll tell you why. A, it's really expensive. B, I kind of designed it. We're gonna be talking about the Atlas Aries. In my opinion, the best gun on this list that no one can afford, which is why it comes in at number 7. These guns are about $6,000, but it is, in my opinion, worth it. I actually worked with Atlas Gunworks on this a little bit and gave them some design input on what I would like out of the gun, and this is what we came up with. We came up with a 15-round, aluminum framed, aluminum gripped 2011 pistol made by one of the best companies on earth, hence the price tag, with a Picatinny rail ported right from the factory, optics mount, and a 3-pound trigger that is better than anything you've ever felt in your life. We have ambi controls on each side, we have a drilled and tapped magazine release, and then we have a straight back to the rear single action trigger. So a 2011, if you're unfamiliar, or a double stack 1911 is in fact how it sounds. It's a double stack 1911. So you have all the ergonomics that you like on the 1911, but you get a 15 to 27 round capacity with the Atlas Aries, which I like a lot. All the controls are all going to be slicked up, and everything is going to be beautiful, like angels singing when you get it from the factory. So someday, if you get the chance to shoot one of these, I'd recommend trying one out. And if you subscribe now and wait a couple weeks, hey, who knows? Maybe we'll be giving one away. Now, in at number 6, man, they're heating up. It gets harder and harder to put guns above guns because they're all so good. And they're so different as well. It's hard to compare a P365 to an Atlas Aries, but we're going to. The P365 X Macro. Maybe my favorite gun of last year. It really takes the P365 and makes it bigger.
That's what I want.
The P365 X Macro is, as it sounds, the macro version of the P365, except we've got a banging flat face trigger. It comes with a slide cut comp in there, so it doesn't reduce any of the reliability or anything like that, but it does give you increased follow-up shots. We have a 4-inch slide with a 3-inch barrel, optics mounting system, and it is a polymer frame striker fired pistol. However, it also does have the fire control module in it, so you can put it in bigger or smaller grips if you so choose. It comes optics ready for the 507. It has HD night sights that are made of steel and a very comfortable grip. All that for around $700 is pretty cool, but add to the fact that it's only 1 inch thick and it is only 21 ounces, you have a pistol with the capability of full-size pistols with the recoil control of a freaking open gun, all for the package that's a little bit bigger than the P365. I would argue that if this has been around for a couple more years, this might have gotten the #1 spot considering all the features and accuracy and reliability that we've had out of this gun. That being said, I just have to test it for a few more years before I can recommend it over some of the guns that have been doing it forever, but the P365 X Macro is right on the way. In at number 5, we have, damn, another good gun. We're going to be talking about the Walther PDP. Now, the Walther PDP Compact, the 4-inch, is a pretty banging gun, and I'll tell you why. It is a pre-cocked striker trigger. It is a striker-fired polymer frame pistol like a lot of the other guns on the list, except this one comes in with a ton of great features. We have an optics mounting system, adjustable sights. We have great texture on the grip, back straps, comes with 2 or 3 15-round mags. I actually forget how many it comes with. Magazine release is textured. The trigger guard is absolutely huge, which I like a lot because I live in Iowa where we got to wear these things a lot of the year because it's below zero a lot of the year, and it's really helpful. It has ambi controls, it's extremely accurate, and it shoots very quickly. I can shoot at 100 yards with this gun no problem, and I feel super comfortable when I have this guy. The Walther PDP is the successor to the P99 and the PPQ, and I think it does a great job building on those awesome platforms, adding some new features people were looking for. In at number 4, we have, oh man, you guys know I love this gun. This is the CZ P07. And I had to put it on the list for a number of reasons. 1, because CZ apparently discontinued these. How dare you? And 2, because I've been carrying this gun for literal years and it's been through basically everything, as you can see here. This is a double action, single action polymer frame pistol. My personal favorite double action pistol, I might add, and is a constant companion with me. It has a 28 ounce weight, similar to many of the other guns on the list, but I think this one handles it even better with some of the lightest, if not the lightest, recoil on the list. Part of that is due to the internal slide radius, but a lot of that is due to the CZ ergonomics in the grip and the light weight of the slide, giving it less reciprocating mass as it comes back. It also pushes back on the double action hammer as it comes back, which reduces the recoil even more. I have some steel sights on here, however, I believe they do come with polymer sights. We have a Picatinny rail, a lot of room up here to put your thumb. This is a great gun for big hands. If you got big hands like me, there's a lot of room to put your hands. We have a great undercut as well. We have a textured magazine release and pretty good texture on the grip. However, you can see I did cover up with Talon grips, which have lasted like literally 6 years. I know I see a lot of tactical instructors say don't put Talon grips on because they'll eventually fall off, but hey, just like escalators that when they break they become stairs, when Talon grips come off, you just have the same fucking grip you had before. So personally, for me, they work. Mine has a decocker on it, but you can get a model with the safety, and as you can see here, all the controls are very big, which makes this a phenomenal gun to use when it's cold outside. And since Iowa's winter lasts about 3 to 4 months, on average we get 2 to 3 months where it can be below zero, I really like to have this gun because I can use it in any condition. It's the most reliable gun I own. Thousands of rounds through this gun. We've done mud testing, adverse testing, everything you can think of, you can throw at this thing and it'll still work. In at number 3, we have one of the greatest guns ever made, the M&P 2.0. I had to put this one pretty high on the list, partly because of the reliability, partly because how many law enforcement agencies use it, partly because it's one of the highest selling guns on the market today, but really I put it on the list because of how much I love it personally. This is one of the newer models. However, if you've been watching the channel recently, you'll know that I left one of my old ones outside for 3 months with the same ammunition in cold, in rain, in snow, and it rusted up and still worked. I took it out, racked it, and shot the damn thing. Not only did it work, but it shot targets at 50 yards right after that with the same magazine. Shut the fuck up. Well, if this isn't a Smith & Wesson commercial, I don't know what is. Very, very durable, very reliable, great in adverse conditions, big controls, aiming controls on each side. The 2.0 has a phenomenal trigger in it. You get a 15 round magazine capacity, although they are compatible with all the models, so you can put bigger and bigger magazines if you want. Picatinny rail for light mounting. This one came optics ready with suppressor height sights. Very cool, right out of the factory. And then you have these cool fish scale serrations as well. Great recoil control on the M&P 2.0, arguably one of the least recoiling striker fired guns. This is a striker fired polymer frame gun with a 4-inch barrel and about $500 price point. 28 ounces again. You can see that a lot of the compact guns have the same damn weight, but I want to tell you anyway, in case you're splitting hairs, maybe you're a nothing fancy fan, but I like to know what guns weigh. That way I can decide how much I want to carry them. So I like this one a lot because it has some of the best texture in the business. The 2.0 put a lot of really aggressive texture on there. Not great for everybody, but great for me. I think if you're looking for a gun to do everything with, this is certainly one of those options and probably the main competitor to number 2. The freaking Glock 19. The Glock 19 is the highest sold pistol ever, I think, and for good reason. It started this craze. It started the compact polymer frame striker fired pistol craze that you can see most of these guns fit into. It's kind of the OG, and this is actually the 5th generation. As you can see, I have a Zavari precision slide on there, and that kind of highlights what's awesome about the Glock. You can put anything you want on it. You can put any parts, sights, dots, lights. You can have one of 10,000 companies accessorize it for you. You put different triggers, you can put anything you want on there. But from the base gun, right out of the box, it's still pretty good because the Gen 5 comes with a lot of features guys were looking for. They took away the finger grooves, they added a little bit better trigger. You've got back straps involved in the box that you can put a beaver tail on if you like. They come optics ready, and they're probably the most reliable gun on the planet. If not, they're certainly up there. They've been tested by law enforcement, military have been using them, special forces groups have been using them for many, many years, and they couldn't be tested more. If you don't want to think about it too much, and you want a gun that's just going to work all the time, and you want a gun you can get parts for, holsters for, anything you want, the Glock 19 is your boy. All right, now I know we just kind of glossed over a lot of these last guns, but you have to remember that I do have reviews or at least first shots of all these guns. So if you want to check that out, feel free to subscribe to the channel, go through my videos, and you can see them all there. That being said, we're going to get into number 1 now, and hopefully you agree with me. Maybe you won't. Hard to say. My number one is the Staccato C2. The Staccato C2 is a gun that defends me personally all the time. It's one of my main carry guns. It's one of my home defense guns. It's a gun that my wife shoots all the time. It's a gun that I shoot all the time. And I think it brings all the best possible features from the competition racing community. And I think it brings it into a compact package that's relatively affordable, that's super durable, super reliable, that you can get into and shoot quick without having to worry about a malfunction. It brings everything that I want with a 2011 platform and nothing I don't. The Staccato C2 is relatively expensive though, $2,000 and then $2,500 for the Optics Ready model, which is very expensive. But what you're gonna get out of it is high performance. You get a 15 to 17 round magazine capacity, you get a polymer grip, aluminum frame, steel slide that's optics ready here. We're rocking the new HoloSun EPS on there, which we'll be doing a review of. You get suppressor height sights. You get a 3-pound single action trigger, which is very awesome. You get good texture on the grip. You get a beaver tail safety and an ambi manual safety. Now you do have to carry these cocked and locked, so you're gonna have to get used to that battery of arms. But once you do get used to the battery of arms, once you do get into the initial price, what you'll receive is unbelievable recoil control, incredible accuracy, and speed on the trigger that you can't imagine if you've only ever shot a polymer frame gun like a Glock 19 or something. The 2011 brings the best trigger in the business. Not only does it go straight back to the rear and doesn't have any fulcrum business like a polymer frame or like a Glock 19 does, for example, but you also get a very, very short reset on the trigger, which allows you to shoot very, very quickly and very, very accurately. The less trigger movement that you have, the less you can fuck that up. So I think the C2 kind of eliminates a lot of user error and gives you durability and reliability that you're not gonna get with something like maybe a Bull Armory or a Springfield Prodigy. And they do come a little bit higher than the Springfield Prodigy, but you're not gonna get 15 malfunctions per 1,000 rounds. You're gonna get 0, or at least I did anyway. This is my second Staccato C2, and both of them have run flawlessly with no malfunctions at all, including remanufactured ammunition, including hollow points, including varying types from 115 grain all the way up to 147 grain. Very, very impressive design. I couldn't be happier, and that's why I use it to defend myself. But hey, I use a bunch of these guns, so any one of these that you pick will be good enough. I promise you that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters and remember to recycle. But before I check you later, let me know in the comment section below if you want a subcompact list, because I was thinking about doing that. Maybe a double stack micro list. Let me know what you want. Maybe a pocket pistol list. I want to do the best 15 for each one of those categories, so you tell me what you want next. In at number 3, we have one of, oh shit, I have coffee on my mustache. I wonder how long that's been there.